Good morning everyone, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome old subscribers, welcome new. If you like my videos, please press the like button, please do subscribe. I'm here in my flat at Rochester and it's been raining, so it's damp and wet outside. I hope everybody has a lovely day. Alexa, good morning. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning.
Also guys, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Alexa, what's the time please?
Good morning, Crystal. It's 8 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Wednesday the 14th of February.
Alexa, what's the weather like?
Currently, in Rochester it's 12 degrees Celsius with cloudy skies. Today, you can expect showers, with a high of 13 degrees and a low of 11 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
What do you call a sad strawberry? A blueberry.
Right, and Alexa, whose birthday is it today?
Today's famous birthdays include Colombian singer Karol G, American businessman and politician, former mayor of New York City Michael Bloomberg, English actor Simon Pegg, English actor Freddie Highmore, and 50th Prime Minister of the Netherlands Mark Rutte.
Alexa, how old is Simon Pegg?
Simon Pegg is 54 years old.
Oh my goodness, he's nearly as old as me. Simon Pegg. You know, Shaun of the Dead, the guy that played one of the main characters in Shaun of the Dead, Simon Pegg, and Hot Fuzz. He played the policeman in Hot Fuzz. He's 54. So guys, Valentine's Day. I'm single and I'm living by myself, so I'm not doing anything today, Valentine's Day. I might actually eat a pancake, which I couldn't manage to eat yesterday, and I like my Valentine's Day candle, but really when you're on your own, Valentine's Day, well, it's not that special really when you're on your own, is it? And when you get to my age, you know, it really is not that relevant anyway, but yeah, happy Valentine's Day. So, I haven't been well. I'm hoping that I start to feel better. So, we'll see what happens. I have a mischievous cat called Harry, who is a ginger tomcat, and he decided to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and start darting around the living room and where I sleep, and he was acting like a maniac, so he was jumping up down on the windows, trying to climb up the door and run up and down and make a nuisance of himself. So I got up, and then I calmed him down, then I tried to go back down for another half an hour sleep, and then the bin man, the bin men came to empty the recycle bins, because it's recycling day on Wednesday, so they came out to empty the recycle bin, and that made a hell of a lot of noise, so I just decided to get up and stay up, and that's it really. I don't need to go to the shop. No, I don't need to go to the shop because I've got everything I need in my flat. I was sad to hear that Steve Wright passed away yesterday, the radio presenter Steve Wright, and I remember Steve Wright way back till must be 1985, 1986. Steve Wright in the afternoon, and he used to play all the hit singles. And when my father Derek was driving me up from Chatham to Sydenham in London to take me to school, because my father moved me down to Chatham in the final year of my exams at school, and he used to play the radio when he was driving me from Chatham to Sydenham, and Steve Wright would be playing in the afternoon, because it was called Steve Wright in the afternoon. So when my dad actually brought me home from school and took me back to Chatham, Steve Wright in the afternoon would be playing, and I would be sat with my dad in the car listening to the music in 1985. Duran Duran, Adam and the Ants, you know, all the new romantic music and the 80s music, Wham. And now a lot of these people are passing away and they are getting older, right? Steve Wright was 69. 15 years older than myself. So when I was going to school at 16, Steve Wright was 31. 31. News presenter. BBC Radio 2, I believe. Alexa, who was Steve Wright?
Stephen Richard Wright was an English disc jockey, radio personality, and occasional television presenter, credited with introducing the zoo format on British radio, known for its zany, multi-personality approach.
So there you go, guys. He's gone, he's passed away. That was sudden. So I've taken rubbish out to the bin as well, just to get a bit of fresh air, and the cat makes an awful mess. So I just been downstairs to throw rubbish out in the bin. There's a parcel on the floor for somebody that doesn't live in these flats. So that is happening quite a lot now, since there's more and more flats being built. The parcels are getting delivered to the wrong address. Mine went to the address up 2 blocks away. New delivery drivers, Royal Mail guy delivered it to the wrong address. So today, really no plans. I don't have a boyfriend. Jennifer is my mother. So, you know, Valentine's Day is for lovers, couples, male and female couples, or same-sex couples that are together. I am completely single. I'm a straight woman, and you know, Valentine's Day isn't Mother's Day, is it? I'll probably send my mum a present on Mother's Day, right, which is in March, Mother's Day, so don't forget your mums. And for those who've lost mums, you know, this is, you know, for anyone that's lost somebody, you know, you remember them on that day, you know, remember them in a good way. So basically, I'm not going up to see my mum on Valentine's Day, no. Jennifer is my mother. And Derek, my father, is dead, so Derek would have given my mum a Valentine's Day card and a Valentine's Day present, vice versa. So my dad's gone, so my mum's on her own, and I appreciate that, but I'm not going to visit my mum on Valentine's Day. It's one of those days that, you know, if you're on your own, it really isn't that special, is it? So I'm going to stay at home today and just persevere with whatever this tummy trouble that I've got, and try and get myself better. Right, so why my kitten decided to go manic at 6 in the morning and the bin men have cluttered around in the bin store, I'm not going anywhere. I live by myself, I'm single, and that's that. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
For that Palestine flag, hoping that that would explain to him why I didn't choose to get up and clap, and hoping that he would just move on.
Now, I think there's some foul language coming there, so I'd ask you not to say it, but I understand he then became abusive. Is that correct?
Yes, he asked me if I enjoyed the show. I said, well, up until that point. And then he turned on me and started screaming that he's from Belfast, and therefore he knows everything about ceasefires. And then he started using the F word a lot, tell me to get the F out of the show, and calling me some illustrative names.
What was the reaction of the rest of the audience, Mr. Ito?
I think a lot of them were shocked. Some booed at us. There was one guy from the first row that shouted shame at us. Now we had to gather our things and go, because then Paul Curry started to he took out his Palestine flag again and started making it a public chanting, trying to get the whole crowd to chant ceasefire now and free Palestine.
I see. So you leave the theatre. I would imagine you felt a degree of vulnerability in the immediate region as people came out of the theatre, or am I over-egging that?
No, that's absolutely correct. The sad thing is, and Paul Curry must have known this because of where we were sat, the only way out of the theatre was actually through the stage. So we had to pass right next to him and be instantly recognizable by the entire crowd that he was then inciting against us. Unfortunately, the theatre did not have a contingency plan for something like that. I don't think if they've ever considered having security for the crowd from the performer. And there was nobody there to kind of take us to a side room and protect us. So they just sent us out to the street while they allowed the crowd out from a different door.
Are you concerned about a rise of anti-Semitism in this country?
Absolutely. I think it's the rise against anti-Semitism that enabled Paul Curry to act the way he did and not expect anybody from the crowd to be on our side and to protect us.
The Israeli theatre who is singled out. So, from political parties to politicians' homes, to the theatre, and now to the courts. 3 pro-Palestine protesters convicted of a terror offence for marching with paraglider stickers walked free from court after a judge said emotions ran very high in the wake of the October 7th attack. Hiba al-Hayak, who's 29, Pauline Nkunda, who's 26, had the images on their backs, while Nomutu Oleyinka Tewo, who's 27, carried one on a placard handle. The demo was just a week after Hamas used paragliders during its murderous massacre on Israel. All 3 found guilty at Westminster Magistrates Court. Prosecutors arguing it was no coincidence defenders were displaying the images so soon after the attack. But, as I say, no sentence. Matthew Scott is a criminal barrister at Pump Court Chambers and blogs at barristerblogger.com and joins me now. What might have been a sentence that could have been handed down? Mr. Scott, good morning.
Well, the maximum sentence for this offence is 6 months imprisonment. And on the scale of terrorist offences, this is about as least serious an offence as exists.
Are you surprised at such leniency? You agree with that level? What would your view be?
Well, the problem with this offence is that it doesn't require proof that the person displaying the image or article on their clothing, it doesn't require proof that they intended to encourage support for the prescribed organisation. All that's required is that they wore an item of clothing or displayed an article in such a way as to arouse reasonable suspicion that they were supporting a prescribed organisation. And what the judge said here, the trouble is we don't have his full sentencing remarks, so it's not entirely clear why he reached the decision that he did. But one of the things that he did seem to say is that he was quite satisfied that these protesters were not, in fact, supporting Hamas. Now, some people might find that rather surprising in view of what's been reported and what's been seen, but that seems to have been the decision that the judge came to after listening to all the evidence.
I attend one of these rallies in the coming weeks. I've got hang glider stickers or whatever on my coat. I'm okay. What would it take then for me to raise the ante, to be committing a potential offence that could lead to a custodial sentence?
Well, I think that there are a whole plethora of more serious offences if you are encouraging and prove to be encouraging support for a terrorist organisation or a prescribed organisation. So if you use words explicitly encouraging people to support Hamas, then yes, you would be likely then to be committing a much more serious offence. I mean, these people were prosecuted under Section 13 of the relevant Act, the 2000 Terrorism Act. Section 12 is actually quite similar in many ways, but if proof is then given that somebody intends to encourage support, then that can carry a sentence of up to 14 years. And obviously will be tried in the Crown Court rather than the Magistrates' Court.
Matthew Scott, thank you for your time. You're a criminal barrister at Pump Court Chambers and you blog as thebarristerblogger.com. Now, the judge agreed there was no evidence the trio actually supported the group, as the barrister was explaining, so they were given 12-month conditional discharges after he decided not to punish them. They all attended the court wearing face masks, because, of course, we know COVID is so prone and so rampant again. Their initial defence was that they were using a reference to Banks's artworks. So I would argue that that's the courts now being too soft. The police watching for 4 hours as a demonstration went on. We know the problems in our politics and even on our TV screens. That is, of course, the theme tune for The Apprentice, and the BBC now under fire for broadcasting episodes of The Apprentice, including a candidate accused of making a stream of anti-Jewish comments on social media and accusing Israel of weaponising the Holocaust to push fascist ideology. And he's still starring on in The Apprentice on a TV screen near you. Why is there this continuing acceptance of this vile anti-Semitism? It's just turned 8:16. LBC News headlines now. Thomas Watts.
Labour has suspended a second would-be MP over his alleged comments about Israel. A Jewish man has described being hounded out of a comedy show in London. The headline rate of inflation in the UK remained at 4% in January. LBC weather, most places mild and cloudy. Rain for many, a high of 14 Celsius.
LBC Travel line, Joanne Webb. Severe delays continue on the M20 eastbound up to junction 10A at Ashford South, where the motorway stays closed because of a large diesel spillage. There are long delays on the approach and on the surrounding routes, especially the A20. And then also the M26 is closed westbound from the M20 up to the M25, and that's all down to an accident, and that will be closed for some time yet. On the western stretch of the M25, it is very busy clockwise heading towards junction 16 at the M40. It's all after an accident that happened earlier. The A1M slow southbound heading down towards junction 7 at Stevenage South. It's all down to an accident. Northbound is open but very slow because of onlookers.
This is LBC.
The person I represent would like to engage one of your employees on a private basis.
So guys, I hope everybody has a lovely Valentine's Day, and I'll see you later.